Okay, so I'm going to break down an electrical schematic. This one happens to be OR logic. You'll be wiring this up yourself shortly. You will only use one light. But I'm going to break it down on how to read it and determine where the components go. Okay, so here we have our diagram right here. And what I'm going to do to make this easier on myself, and when you do this online in your virtual simulator, you can pick the color of wires as well. This is going to help you keep everything straight in your head for troubleshooting. Now, I'm not going to actually, we talked about conventional wire code, and that's great and all, but I have a multitude. I've got some blues, reds, some different colored leads for you guys to use your kits. So we're going to use those, and what we're going to do in order to help us is in the top rail, I'm going to do black. So I'm going to do my top rail here in black. And I'm going to wire it just like it looks, left to right, top to bottom. Then when I drop down, I'm going to switch to red. Okay, I am going to keep a white wire on my neutral. That's going to keep me from making a short, because I know that my white wires, I should never put anything on my white wires except one side of a component to neutral. But first, let's break this up. So first, we're going to identify. It says I need to hook up number 1 push button. So I need to find the number 1 push button, which just so happens to be here. There's my number 1 push button. And now I need to identify number 2 push button. It's designated here, labeled over here. We're looking at the normally open. So that's where this goes. And now I need to identify my green light, which is right here. And my red light, which is right above it. And so left to right, I'm going to connect it. We'll just turn this upside down so we can see the red light. There's my red light. So I'm going to start with my black wires, going from left to right. I'm going to follow this circuit out. It says number 1 push button normally open. I know that by this designator here showing the normally open symbol. Notice the mechanical interlocks. So it has 2 sets of contacts. Don't get on the normally closed. Now I'm going to go, my next black wire shows to go straight to my red light. All right, so I'm going to hook that up. And then for my red light, I'm going to switch to a white wire. Typically, in the 24-volt system that we're working on, this would actually be a blue with a white stripe, but they don't sell banana clips with blue to white stripes that I've been able to find cheaply. So here we're going to hook the red wire up to our neutral. Put this over here out of the way, make it look nice. And so now we've hooked up that. At this point, I can test this portion of the circuit. Not going to hurt. I'm going to turn it on. And when I push the button, the red light should come on. I'm going to turn the power back off. Next, I'm going to change color because now I'm going with the second rung in our ladder. I'm going to jump to red. And so my diagram shows that here I have a connection to the rail on the number 2 push button. So I'm going to come over here, connect it to 24 volts. We'll see if we can't shorten that up just a little bit. And we'll connect this side here to here. Now, notice what it's asking is it to be connected to the rail. I could just as easily connect it here. Notice these double stack. So I could do that if I wanted to. But we're going to kind of keep it simple. We're going to go right back over to the rail just like the diagram shows. But either way is correct. Here we're going to connect. It shows a jumper between these two push buttons. So I'm going to take a small red wire. Hopefully I can locate a small one. And all I have to do from this one is connect it to the other button. All right. And so now I've connected that to the other button. And so what I've done is I've connected this small wire here. Okay. This wire here that goes through here, that's already done. That's done. Okay. Since this is OR logic, I'm going to skip over to the right side, left to right. And it's showing that my green light should be tied to the same wire as my red light. So I'm simply going to take a red jumper. I'm trying to keep everything a little easier to understand. So I'm going to hook here, and all I got to do is hook it to this one. All right. Now I need to hook my white wire up as well to my neutral. Now I'll turn the power on, and I'll see that this OR logic, number 1 push button turns it on, or number 2 push button turns it on. And so there's a simple OR circuit, and kind of an easy way when you get started. Like I said, there is a set color code, but when you've got a jumble of wires on a trainer, it's nice if you will switch colors as you switch rails. That will help you with troubleshooting later on. In the real world, you won't do that. But for our purposes right now, we're going to switch colors as we switch rails. That's going to help us, and it's going to help me help you as far as troubleshooting goes.